hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are watching this video. Happy New Year. As it is the new year, a lot of people are embarking on a lot of different kinds of self-betterment journeys and following a lot of different programs and challenges and things like that in order to get there. So this year, I decided to create for you guys a free challenge to change your life through health. So I created 35 Thrive. It should be noted up front, this is not a weight loss challenge. You guys know how I feel about 30-day weight loss challenges. Don't do them unless you literally don't care about regaining all the weight afterwards. Then, you know, do whatever you want. But if you're trying to lose weight and keep it off long term, 30-day weight loss challenge, not where it's at. But a 35-day challenge that helps you build the foundation of a healthy lifestyle from which you can start losing weight and keep it off long term. That's what you need. Think about it this way. If you have been struggling to lose weight and keep it off long term, what would it be worth to you to have the intrinsic motivation to be able to stick with a healthy, sustainable weight loss program long term? To not have to feel like you're fighting an uphill battle just to complete all the steps that you need to in order to lose the weight. To wake up and be confident that you're actually going to hit all of the individual targets that you need to that day in order to reach your goals. That's what this program is designed to give you. It's designed to show you how fitness can actually feel, because fitness should feel good. It shouldn't feel like fighting an uphill battle and dying on the treadmill and just hating your life. And if you stick with this challenge, you're gonna feel freaking phenomenal by the end. And once you feel how good you can feel, you're not gonna want to let that go. A lot of people say,
nothing tastes as good as skinny feels.
And we all know that's dumb. Like, cookies are freaking great. But for me personally, in my journey, I have found that nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. People sometimes randomly stumble across my channel and they get the impression that I have this obsession with eating healthy and optimizing my diet, optimizing my lifestyle, etc. And yes, I'm absolutely passionate about it and I love it. And that's what I spend my time thinking about, mostly because it is also my career. So I do have to think about it. But it's just that for me, as I've gone through my health and fitness journey, as I've worked towards better and better optimization of my diet and my exercise and my lifestyle around feeling good and around optimizing health, it just makes me feel so much better. Like, you get so much more out of life when you come into it with a sense of radiance and vibrance and energy. Like, being able to wake up and have energy and feel excited about your day is priceless. And to me, it's not worth eating a lot of suboptimal foods all the time. Like, I would rather pay that price in order to get the amazing feeling that is health. So once you feel that feeling, all of the things that are getting in the way of your health and fitness goals become a lot less tempting. Once you've tasted how good healthy feels, the taste of pizza is just less enticing. So that is essentially what this program is designed to do, is to give you a taste of how good you can feel when you are optimizing your health. So there are a lot of various programs out there that you could be choosing from. I'm not saying this one is absolutely the right one for you. If you have different goals, like, by all means, go and do a different free challenge, whatever. Let me just tell you really quickly why you might want to do 35 Thrive instead of the other ones. Number one, it's free.
It's free real estate.
All parts of participation, absolutely free. Won't cost you a penny. It may cost you some time, dedication, and hard work, but no money. Number two, it's designed to give you the biggest results for the smallest changes. You will be doing only 5 things for 35 days, and I handpicked these 5 things to be the tasks that will give you the biggest bang for your buck. Number 3, 35 Thrive is designed for whole body and mind wellness to make you feel better overall so that you can thrive and achieve your dream life. So it's not just about optimizing your health. It's about upgrading your lifestyle so that you have the opportunity to upgrade your actual life and get closer to the life that you want to be living. It just uses improving health as the foundation for improving the rest of your life. So if you think about the life that you want and you think about what's holding you back from it, maybe time, energy, focus, strength, etc. 35 Thrive is designed to give you those things so that you can achieve your dream life. Like, think about it. If you were healthier and had more energy, you would have a much bigger capacity to spend time turning your side hustle into your dream job and quitting your corporate job and going and living your dream life with your side hustle. Being healthier gives you more mental clarity, so you can get like 10 times more done in a day, and that's gonna give you more time to do the things that you need to do. Being healthier also gives you the ability to run around with your kids and your grandkids. It also gives you the self-confidence to show up for yourself every single freaking day so that you can create the life that you want. I could go on and on, but there are just so many ways that getting healthier gives you more capacity in life to do the things that you want to do. So that's really what 35 Thrive is about. And if your goal is just fat loss, like, this is gonna build an amazing foundation from which to do a good quality, healthy, sustainable weight loss program. It's a lot easier to try to lose weight when you can wake up with more energy, better mental clarity, more strength, less pain, etc. So if you do want to sign up, you can just go to 35thrive.com, put in your name and email, and you will be good to go. So let's break down what this challenge actually is. Like, what do you actually need to do 35 Thrive? First is, as the name suggests, it is 35 days long. And I made it 35 days because this is the amount of time that it takes to really start feeling the huge benefits of the shifts that you make in the program. You should start to feel a lot of the benefits by about week 3. So by day 35, you're kind of gonna have the ball rolling, have the momentum, and be like, wow, my life is amazing. But it's also short enough to not feel super restricted or constrained by the timeline of it. Like, the last thing I would want is for someone to do this and then end up developing like a bad relationship with food or a bad relationship with fitness because they have to follow these very specific tasks every day. So I guess that said, you could absolutely keep doing it beyond 35 days if you wanted to. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the goal is to make it 35 days straight. And then within these 35 days, every day you have 5 tasks to accomplish. And as I said before, these are the 5 tasks, like the 5 biggest shifts that you can make in your life that are gonna have the biggest impact. And if you mess up, you do have to start over. As a whole, throughout life, if you're living a healthy lifestyle, you obviously don't have to do all of the amazingly healthy things every single day in order to optimize your health. But if you're just kind of getting the ball rolling on this, you really do have to put in the time of doing it every day in order to maximize the benefits that you're gonna feel within 35 days. That said, let's break down the actual tasks that you need to do every day for 35 days for 35 Thrive. Task number 1 is exercise at least 30 minutes every single day, 2 days of the week. That exercise has to be resistance training. So what does that mean? Let's break it down. First and foremost, you can follow any program that you want to, or you don't have to follow a program at all. If it's easier for you to just decide whatever you're gonna do the day of and do that, go for it. Workouts can be whatever length you want them to be, as long as they are at least 30 minutes. So they can be, 35 minutes, they can be 45 minutes, they can be an hour, but they don't compound throughout the week. So a 1-hour workout does not count for 2 days, it only counts for that 1 day. And then parameters for resistance training. You need to be using at least resistance bands or weights. You can't do body weight style training and count that towards your resistance training. And yes, there are ways to train body weight and still get a good resistance training style workout, like pistol squats. Oh my God, amazing exercise. But the goal here is also to help you start establishing habits that you can build off of after this program to continue upgrading your lifestyle. And using equipment just kind of infinitely expands your opportunities to grow. And so it's important to start including that in this program. No circuit workouts for this. It does need to be standard like resistance training protocol where you're doing sets and reps of an exercise and then you're moving on to sets and reps of another exercise and then moving on from there, rather than doing like exercise, and then going back to the beginning, exercise, if that makes sense. And you should be lifting heavy for this, but let's break down what that means. So as far as lifting heavy goes, it's important to know that heavy is relative. Heavy is not defined by any amount of weight whatsoever. It's not a number of pounds. It is relative to your current strength. And this means doing as much as you can, like as much weight as you can, but stopping when you still have 1 to 2 reps left in the tank before your form breaks down. So let's say you're following a program and it says to do 10 reps of squats. You should be using whatever weight you need to in order to get to 11 or 12 reps before your form breaks down, and then just stop at 10. So if you can only use like a 30-pound curl bar on your back and you can do 11 reps of squats with that, and if you do 12 reps, your form starts to break down, that's heavy. That's totally fine, and that's perfect for you. So don't let the idea of lifting heavy intimidate you. It's entirely based on you and your body and your strength. So that's the resistance training workouts. And for the non-resistance training workouts, these can be pretty much anything other than walking. It can be cardio, Pilates, boxing, yoga. It can be more resistance training if you want it to be. It can even be mobility workouts or stretching. The goal here is just to do intentional movement for at least 30 minutes. That's just getting your body moving, getting your muscles activated, even if it's activating them super lightly, getting the blood flowing, and just moving. If you're a complete beginner, highly recommend, if you can, hiring a personal trainer, even if it's just for like a week, to go over some exercises that you would be doing with resistance training, like proper form for squat, deadlift, etc., just to make sure you're not going to injure yourself. And also it's just really helpful to have someone just demonstrate everything for you. And then also, I strongly encourage you to not go from 0 to 100 on this. Like, don't go from barely exercising to going like balls to the wall every single day for 35 days. Like, that is not the goal of this program. Again, it is not a weight loss program. It is a health-based program. And so you're trying to move in a way that makes you feel good, not like you're just killing yourself in the gym. And you can also play around with the frequency of different workout intensities throughout the week to see what works best for you and makes you feel the best. So you might find that 4 like moderate intensity workouts a week and 3 very light workouts a week, like stretching and yoga, is better for you. Or you might find that, you know, 2 super intense workouts a week and then 5 very low-key workouts is what's gonna work best for you. So play around with it, like figure out what makes you feel good. Task number 2 is the one that I think most people will be intimidated by, but it is also one that stands to make the biggest difference in your life. And that is, for 35 days, eat only whole unprocessed foods. Let's clarify the definition of processed versus unprocessed, because this is a whole gray area and it depends on who you ask. An unprocessed food would be anything that we would have been able to make and eat 200 plus years ago. And anything that you could, in theory, make for yourself without industrial machinery. So, for example, humans have been making flour for centuries, bread for centuries. So bread with ingredients that you could, in theory, source for yourself and process by yourself, totally fine. Bread with a bunch of additives that like you would have to be a scientist to be able to craft in a lab, not okay. And yes, this does mean that natural sugar is okay. This is not a no sugar challenge, but it just has to be a source of sugar that we would have had 200 plus years ago, like just organic cane sugar, rather than a highly processed sugar like corn syrup. So foods to include would be things like vegetables, fruit, unprocessed meats and seafoods, eggs, nuts and seeds, beans, legumes, grains are okay, spices and seasonings, coffee, tea. Cooking oils and fats to include would be olive oil, avocado oil, macadamia oil if you really want to go there, butter, ghee, coconut oil, also great. Pretty much any food that is a 1 ingredient food that you could source from nature, it's on the list. Foods to exclude would be, again, anything that would probably require you to use like industrial machinery or mad science in order to create. Alcohol is also out though. To be fair, we definitely did have that at least 200 years ago, and it is very simple to make yourself.
I think. I don't know, I've never made alcohol, but I made kombucha. It did explode though.
But that's a whole other story. But I think we all understand that alcohol is not healthy for us, so it is probably pretty obvious why that would be eliminated. No alcohol. No seed oils or vegetable oils. No artificial sugars, although that's included in like the processing thing. And then no cheat meals. Because again, if you have 1 cheat meal a week, that's 14% of the time that you're spending in this program not following the program. So you're not gonna get nearly as good of results. And this is especially true when it comes to this task, because this is really where the benefits start to compound the longer you stick to this with no breaks. Like if you are able to stick to this with no breaks by week 3, you're gonna be feeling infinitely better. So big tips here are read ingredient labels. Like read every single ingredient label of foods that you pick up. This is one of the best skills and habits that you will learn in this program. The amount that you can learn about what you're putting in your body just by being aware of what you're putting in your body by reading the ingredient labels is a game changer. Like for example, almond milk. Most conventional almond milks are not just almonds and water and a little bit of salt. They include a lot of things that would require industrial machinery and lots of processing in order to add. So you're gonna wanna find an almond milk that's basically just almonds, water, salt, or a little hint of vanilla, or like things that you could in theory make for yourself or just make it yourself. The almond cow was an amazing invention and I highly recommend, not sponsored, I wish sponsored, but I love the almond cow. Pro tip. And then another big tip here / like thing to be aware of is restaurants. A lot of restaurants will sneak in sneaky little ingredients that you would have no idea are in there if you didn't ask. So again, this is really about bringing awareness to what you're putting in your body. Most restaurants, even if they say something is with olive oil, it's usually an olive oil canola oil blend because it's just a lot cheaper, and canola oil is a no on this program. So you're gonna wanna make sure that anything you're getting from a restaurant, you know what ingredients are there and you can avoid the things that you need to avoid. So just be wary of foods that might be cooked in oil or like on a grill. Often they'll just like throw a bunch of canola oil on a grill in order to grill foods. Sauces and dressings, also a big one. And again, things like alternative milks that you might get from your coffee shop. Whole milk, usually fine, but alternative milks from the coffee shops, usually not gonna be compliant. And then the last big thing that I want to hugely emphasize here, because this can sound very restrictive, but I do not want you restricting calories or other food groups or anything beyond what this challenge calls for. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. Do not set any extra macro goals. Do not put any extra rules on yourself just because it's something that you think you should do. Like, just focus on eating whole unprocessed foods and let everything else take care of itself, because this one simple change can make such a big difference, and it's hard enough as it is without adding extra rules. Like, don't make this harder for yourself. The goal here is to learn how good you can feel when you are only eating whole unprocessed foods, not how good you can feel and how much weight you can lose and how much other things you can do when you eat a whole unprocessed foods. Cut out gluten, dairy, stick to 1,600 calories. Please don't do that. Avoid oxalates and lectins and all of those other things. Like, don't worry about that. You can worry about that later. Like, once you get through 35 Thrive, you're like, okay, I have this down. Now let's play around with some other things that might make me feel better. Like, do that, but do that after 35 Thrive. While you're doing this challenge, I'm just gonna say this again for emphasis. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. Do not restrict yourself. So task number 1 and 2, probably the most intimidating for a lot of people. So we have those out of the way. Task number 3 is go to sleep 9 hours before you have to wake up. So if your alarm in the morning is set for 7 a.m., you need to be going to sleep by 10 p.m. This means in bed, lights off, phone down, no distractions, actively trying to sleep 9 hours before your alarm is set to go off in the morning. So if you have any sort of bedtime routine, don't be starting it 9 hours before you have to get up in the morning. Start it earlier so that you can be in bed, falling asleep 9 hours before you have to wake up. And this is really the backbone of 35 Thrive. Because a good night's sleep can set you up for success, and a bad night's sleep can set you up for failure. Lack of sleep decreases energy, increases cravings, makes you insulin resistant, which contributes to the midday crash, cravings throughout the day, fatigue after eating, and lack of sleep can also reduce impulse control. So you know, you get that insulin resistance that makes you crave the sugary foods, and you have less control over your decisions. That's just a recipe for not being able to stick to task number 2. On average, most people need about 8 hours of sleep to optimize their health. But sometimes it can take some time to fall asleep. Sometimes you just need a little bit more than 8 hours of sleep. And giving yourself a 9-hour window basically gives your body the space to get as much sleep as it needs to fully be recovered and restore itself. You never know how much sleep you actually need to optimize your health, optimize your energy, optimize your brain function, unless you give your body the space it needs to get as much sleep as it needs. Like, I see so many people that are like, oh yeah, I get an average of 6 hours of sleep a night and I'm doing great. But you know how much more great you would be doing if you gave your body as much sleep as it needed? A lot. And one of the big things that you can learn through doing 35 Thrive is being able to listen to your body and connect to your body a lot better, because once you get rid of all of the other distractions by cutting out a lot of stuff during this program, you can really get a lot more in tune with what's going on inside. And if you're not getting enough sleep, it is so hard to connect to your body and listen to your body, because you're doing it through a fog of fatigue, and all of your signals are going to be out of whack if you're not getting enough sleep. So it really is the foundation of transforming your life. Task number 4 is where this starts to become more well-rounded and holistic. You guys know me, I don't just approach fitness as diet and exercise. There are 8 different pillars of health that you need to focus on. So task number 4 is to write down 3 things you are grateful for every day. No repeats. Our bodies and minds are intricately connected, and expressing gratitude has a whole host of benefits for your mind and body. Studies show that feeling thankful can improve your sleep, it can improve your mood, it can improve your immunity. It can also reduce anxiety and depression, chronic pain, and risk of disease. This task is in here because it's gonna give you a lot more benefits than just drinking a gallon of water a day, or restricting your diet further, or making you wake up an hour early, or whatever it is that all these other people make you do. Like, taking the time to express gratitude can powerfully transform your life. So as far as this task goes, these 3 things each day must be written down, not just like thought about in your head or spoken out loud. I definitely encourage you to speak them out loud. Like, if you have a partner, like every night you 2 come together, talk about the things that you're grateful for. That is a fantastic bonus, but you still have to write them down. This just forces you to be much more intentional about it and to really internalize the things that you're writing down. You can't repeat anything on your list, and don't cheat by just like modifying it slightly. The first few days of this are probably gonna feel pretty easy, but as it goes on, it's gonna get harder and harder. But this is a really good thing, because it's gonna force you to just dig deeper and deeper and find deeper sources of gratitude for things that you have in your life. And if you ever do get stuck along the way and can't think of something that you're grateful for, you can always reflect back on your journey with 35 Thrive thus far and think about various changes that you've experienced through the program. So, you know, if one day in the gym you realize that you're increasing weight on a lot of things, you can write that you're grateful that you are improving your strength or getting stronger. Or if you realize that you've been less bloated because you're sleeping more and you've shifted your diet, you could write that you're grateful for your improving digestion. And this is just a great way to practice gratitude and to reinforce the positive changes that come with shifting and upgrading your lifestyle. Task number 5 is not hard, but it's really hard. And that is to limit social media use to 1 hour a day. No more than 1 hour of your day, every day for 35 days, may be spent scrolling on social media. This includes, but is not limited to, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube Shorts, Pinterest, Reddit, Threads, anything else that you just scroll on and waste your time. The only exception here, and I'm not just doing this because I'm a YouTuber, I promise you, the main exception here is long form YouTube content, because so much of it is just useful, you know? Like, if you're trying to fix your washing machine, you need to watch a tutorial on how to do that. I don't want to stop you from being able to do that. Or if you're trying to complete task number 2 and you need recipe inspo, or you're just watching a recipe in order to make good, delicious, healthy food that has no processed ingredients, like, I want you to have the tools that YouTube long form content can provide for you. And it's also just a lot harder to binge long form content. Like, if you sit down and watch a 25-minute video, you're probably not going to just keep watching 25-minute videos. Whereas like with shorts and reels and TikTok, it's very easy to just keep scrolling and then time just goes by. But you also know yourself best here. So this is where I would say add an extra rule if you need it. Like, if you tend to just binge YouTube long form content that isn't something that is constructive and helpful for you, then I would include that in the 1 hour spent on social media. Highly recommend doing the thing where you set a limit on your phone and include the social media apps so that it can tell you when your hour's up, or else it's gonna be really hard to keep track. So if you have an iPhone, you should be able to do that in settings. If you don't, I don't know, but I'm sure there are apps out there that can monitor your time on various other apps and then alert you when your time is up. And if you do this, do not press the remind me again in 15 minutes button, no matter how tempting it is. I don't care if you were in the middle of watching a TikTok or reading a post, like, don't keep extending that limit, because once you extend it, you're not just gonna finish that one post and then be like, okay, I'm done. You're gonna keep scrolling for another 15 minutes, right? And then you're gonna be halfway through a post, it's gonna tell you you're done, and you're gonna be like, well,
I need to finish that post.
and then another 15 minutes is gonna go by. And it may take a few days to adjust, because 1 hour goes a lot faster on social media than a lot of us realize. And so it may take some time to figure out how to prioritize your social media use so that you can get out of it what you want to get out of it, but still hit that time limit. And if you're wondering why this task is in a health-based challenge, first of all, I recommend watching The Social Dilemma. I feel like almost everybody watched it during the pandemic, but if you haven't seen it, it gives you amazing insight into how detrimental social media use can be for us in so many different ways. Like, it can severely impact your mental health in a lot of different ways, which carries over into your physical health. And not only that, just the amount of time spent. Like, the average American spends 4.5 hours on their phone. I honestly, like, if that's including boomers, if you're under the age of 40, it's probably a lot more than that. But even if you are at 4.5 hours, that is a third of your waking time. Like, so many people feel like they don't have enough time to exercise. They don't have enough time to cook or to prioritize nutrition. They don't have enough time to go to bed 9 hours before they need to wake up. But if you're spending 4.5 hours on your phone and you don't need to be, you have the time. You're just not using it where you need to in order to live the life that you want to live. And social media use is so freaking addicting, but your dream life that you want for yourself does not exist in a screen. It exists outside the screen. And so if you're spending hours and hours in the little screen, you're not gonna get to where you wanna get to. And like I said, this challenge is about so much more than just health. It is about helping you realize the life that you want to live. And this task in the challenge is going to save you so much time. It is going to boost your mental health. It's going to help you focus more on yourself, which is going to help with the other tasks rather than focusing on other people and what they're doing with their lives. It's gonna help you stay more focused on your work and be a lot more productive so that you can do the things that you need to do. And like, within that, it's not even just about the total time. It's about having the momentum with your work. Like, if you can work for 90 minutes straight and have the momentum in your work, you're gonna get a lot more done than if you worked those same 90 minutes, but it was broken up into chunks with scrolling on social media every 10 minutes and then having to shift your brain back into work every time you stop scrolling. This is the task that I recently implemented for myself. I was coming up with this challenge and I was like, you know what? I probably spend way too much time on social media. So I also set a limit on my phone. Like, recently I've had this stupid addiction of just watching the videos of like Reddit stories. So I'll just sit there for like 5 minutes listening to a robot voice with a video of Minecraft in the background, and it's just like a Reddit story that they're reading to me. Complete waste of time. What am I doing with my life? I don't know. So I recently set the limit on my phone to do 1 hour total of social media time, and it took a bit of an adjustment. Like, at first I was hitting that before I went to sleep.
Because I don't go to sleep before midnight. My sleep schedule is really weird.
At midnight, I would be on my phone and then I'd get through the hour before I even went to sleep. But now there's been a huge shift in so much more intentional use of social media. I don't start scrolling unless I know I've accomplished the things that I need to accomplish, and I don't need to worry about wasting time because I've done the things that I need to do in the day. When social media use becomes a much more limited resource, you just bring so much more awareness and intention to your use of it, and this can be transformative in so many different ways. So altogether, those 5 tasks are what make up 35 Thrive. I'm so excited to be giving this to you guys. I think it really could be transformative for so many people, obviously, or else I wouldn't have created it. It's free, like I don't profit from it. I just want you guys to profit from it. So again, if you want to sign up and do the challenge, you can go to 35thrive.com. You'll get access to the community of everyone that's doing it. Hopefully there's a lot of you. It'd be a lot more fun if there are more people. You'll also get a PDF sent to you of like a bunch of like a tracker thing and a whole breakdown of the rules and like all the things that you need, etc. And you know what? For anyone who completes this by the end of February, I'll give you a little shout out on Instagram just for funsies, because I think this is gonna be super cool and fun, and I'm excited for people to do it. If you have any questions whatsoever about the tasks, the challenge, how to do it, if I forgot to mention an important rule or something that's just very unclear, let me know so that I can clarify. This is my first time running a challenge. I'm very excited about it, but kind of nervous because I've never done it before. I don't know how it's gonna go. So any feedback is more than welcome. Again, 35thrive.com if you want to sign up. If you liked this video, please give a big thumbs up. It really does support me and my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, and anyone that you want to join the challenge with you. So maybe post it on Facebook, Instagram stories to just spread the word and get more people to sign up, because again, I think this is going to be more fun with more people. For more videos all about health and fitness, you can check them out over here. To see future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!